Hi guys, Mark Crossfield here, and today we're just going to talk about D-plane, and we're going to talk about what irons are friendlier than others, and I think people are getting it slightly wrong. Now this is a very complicated subject, so I'm going to do my best to make it as clear as I can, and I'm still learning many things about it as well, but I'm just going to share with you what I know at the moment and what I think you need to bear in mind when you're thinking about, say, very game improvement irons over the opposite, and maybe challenge your ideas of dispersion and kind of friendly clubs or not, those kind of things. Let's get stuck in. So I've got in my hands today, I've got a Ping G Max, chunky as can be, against my MP5 Mizuno iron. So we've got the opposite ends of the spectrum. I'm on the course, so we're going to show you some on-course tests. And I've also captured some data as well, which I'll show you in a second. But before we continue, you need to have some kind of grasp over the concept of D-plane. So check this out. So D-plane is the king of left and right misses. So what we have is we have a golf club hitting a ball, and it has a path, so it's going straight, it's going in to out, or it's going out to in. We also then have up and down as well, so the club could be going down, it could be going up. Now when this club hits the ball as well, what we have is a loft. So we have a path and we have a loft. Now the loft, in relationship to where the face and this club is moving, gives us the D-plane numbers. So I want us to think of these points, and we're going to spin this club now to be much more in, that's a bad drawing of a club, this looking straight at us, okay? So these two dots looking straight at us are going to look like this. Now, if I get the loft face the path above the club path, so they're in line with each other, remember we're looking right down in this position now, so looking down, I get a shot that spins at 0 spin axis. Now spin axis is what's going to make the ball go left or right. Think of a plane, so if I want to fly my plane straight, I'm going to have my wings level, I'll bank to the left and tilt my wings this way, bank to the right, tilt my wings other way. So if I get the spin axis at 0 here, what happens is the ball is going to spin back on a 0 axis, and we're going to have a straight shot. Okay? So what tilts that axis is if the face and the path, loft, don't line up with each other. And the reason we're referring to loft, because if we go a higher lofted club, think of this as a driver, let's pretend this is a 9-degree driver for instance, and let's pretend this is a wedge up here. Now if that wedge is hit straight on top of the club path, again we get this dead straight shot. That's not a straight line, but we get a spin axis of 0, ball will go bullet ball dead straight. Now I'm going to move my face the path 5 degrees off from my path. Here's my path, here's my lofted club, and I'm now missing face the path deviation, open or close the path, doesn't matter what it is, and I'm going to get a spin axis that's now tilting, and that's going to make that ball spin on that axis, which will bank like the plane offline, left or right depending on the axis. So if it was the other side, it would spin the other way. Now if we bring the loft back down to the original, equally as in this crude drawing as I can get 5 degrees deviation in face the path, forget the numbers, I'm just throwing the numbers out there. What happens is my D-plane line is there, spin axis is far greater. That ball is going to spin considerably more offline, it's going to curve more in the air. So what happens is loft stroke, if you can line the loft up with the path, is king to missing or hitting straight or offline shots. I don't see how that differs with any other iron personally to enough for you to measure, which we're going to look at the numbers in a second. So hopefully we're getting this. Let's do it one more time. Path here, loft here, high lofted club. This is a face the path, which is say 5 degrees offline with a higher lofted club. Face the path with a lower lofted club. The spin axis with the two clubs is different, and obviously a straight shot would be face the path lining completely up through impact. So now hopefully that gives you some idea of what D-plane is. So D-plane really is controlling left and right curvature. It's kind of the answer to what's making your balls go online or not. Let me just show you the dry fitted data I captured with these two clubs, which then relates to that D-plane idea. So I've got some data here from my D-plane ideas around what clubs make the game a little easier for you or not, certainly when thinking about dispersion. So you've got one shot from each club, one my bladed MP5 iron, so thin narrow bladed, compared to a Ping G Max 6 iron. And I'll show you why I've got the 5 and the 6 in a second. Now I had to hit a lot of shots to get these two as close as I've got them here, but these are the two closest ones. So what I did with these two shots, I've got pretty much the same angle of attack, almost 4 down and 3.5 down. Club path within a degree of each other. Face the path almost identical, lie of the club delivery almost identical, and then the dynamic loft delivered. So if you think about my D-plane explanation, the loft delivered almost as close as I can get it to identical with both clubs. Now the biggest difference when I got those two delivering that way wasn't particularly the left and the right, which you can see from the overhead there. It's more the height that the clubs were getting. So the G Max definitely going a bit higher but spinning a little less, which is why I need to go 6 to 5 iron. So the two dynamic lofts were very much the same, but to get them going as similar as I could in yardage, what I had to do is change the 6 to the 5, or you could argue the G Max 6 is basically like my 5 but it just goes a little bit higher. So G Max spun less but went a little bit higher. I saw no difference really in dispersions left and right as I did this test. Let's show you out on the golf course when I try and play the same shots with the same clubs in situation. How maybe you guys are thinking that dispersion is always left and right when it's not. It can be short and long as much as left and right. And unfortunately left and right is mainly up to you. Let's show you what I mean. Interesting numbers there, aren't they, between the two? So you see that the ping went higher, which is a good thing, possibly for some golfers who want that little bit more height. And the other thing that I've tried measuring, I'm struggling, I'm going to do other videos on it, is obviously the resistance to twist with the chunkier irons, because I hit all over the face and I've got identical shots on two clubs which are very opposite, and you don't see patterns. You'd need a massive data capture to really see the benefit. So let's do it on the course. Let's hit some shots. 6 iron to 5 iron. 6 iron in your mind is easier to hit than the 5 iron, but if they're delivering the same dynamic loft, the same D-plane principle, how is that easier? Explain that to me. Let's try some. So I'm going to go white ball my gaming shot, 5 iron. Wind is howling off the left. This is a tough day to be testing this on the course. But let's see if I can find any true easier or harder ideas with the two clubs in the real environment. Middle of the green, a little bit clean, but that could go close actually. Get up. Yeah, that's on. Landed just short and rolled on. Definitely lower flight, I called it at the bottom. That was a miss hit, but that ball stayed at target. So I was in control of delivery enough with that D-plane. If you're not in control of delivery, these aren't going to help delivery as such. They're going to help you improve maybe an impact in height and those kind of things. 6 iron in the Ping G Max. And it's so high, and that's straight at it. And in this wind, that has come up short and stopped. Interesting, on those two tests for me, the lower ball flight that I hit with the thinner shot on mine, we'll get up there and show you. Let's show you where they finished. That's really interesting. Right, Ping, 6 iron, went high, landed and stopped, which has its benefits as well. The 5 iron with my Mizuno, which I did hit at the bottom, I mishit it because it came in that bit lower. It pitched around this spot, so they kind of landed in the same area, but rolled on, and on that occasion helped me. Both of them went at target, both of them were 2 different strikes. Interesting, isn't it? There's your dispersion, short and long. When companies mention that your dispersion will be improved, and I hear people talk about dispersion, people instantly think left and right. That's what they all do. It's like a knee-jerk reaction. Dispersion includes short and long. Don't be tricked to think that dispersion means you're going to hit the ball straighter. often dispersion will mean that the ball will land in the same spot each time. So distance, left and right, D-plane, is going to be massively up to you. The RNA make it their point to make it up to you. So 186, wind off the left, and it's a blind tee shot, this one on this par 3. I love this hole here at the Warren. Again, we're going to try the same. It's the winter here and we're off mats, and that'll actually help this test because particles, stuff getting between the ball and the face will affect the spin as much as anything because it affects the friction on the club. So we might get a bit more again of a truer test. Going to start with my 5-iron. Just going to hit them as I would, not trying to do anything with the ball. Wind off the left, it requires control in my delivery. Now I've hit that slightly toey. It's going to work. I don't know if it's long enough. Get up. Just a bit short. With this wind, that's a long way. So let's try the ping 6-iron. But again, I caught that one slightly off the toe. Direction was fine. My face the path was obviously in control. See what happens with the old 6-iron here. Again, that looks like a lower spinning flight. Let's see if that gets up a little bit further left. Look short again. Look short in this wind. It's the height that this one's getting is affecting those distances again, but I think we're going to see our dispersion once again. It's not left and right, that's me. It's going to be short and long more than anything else. Right, ping 6-iron and my 5-iron, almost identical in direction and again in distance. The ping coming up short because it's struggling in the wind for me. For you, that extra height might be something that's worthy and helping you. And it might help your dispersion. Short and long, like you're seeing the test here, it's all about short and long dispersion. You're going to see other balls on the green here because I'm testing some other golf balls as well. Check those videos out, coming very soon. Got one more test for these two. Here we go, final test. I'm about 160 yards out, wind is whipping off the right. So what I'm going to do is hit a softer shot with both of these clubs. I'm going to reduce my swing speed. So lots of people obviously want the chunker club, have often a slower swing speed. They're looking for that extra height. So I'm going to hit a very kind of chippy forward shot because I would really be hitting a 7-iron from here. So 6-iron and 5-iron. Let's start with my one. Just to see how that height differs when the swing speed starts dropping off. It's all about controlling the shape in this wind. So I'm down the grip a little bit and I'm going to hit a little soft one. Hung it out to the right, it might catch the right portion. Just off the right side. Decent height, nice controlled shot in this wind. So let's try it now with the friendlier club for dispersion. Catch the green, and that's what happens for me unfortunately. Let's get up there and show you what's happened. It's an interesting one there. So here is my 5-iron. Interesting what it is that it's pin high. It's that control of distance, which is why I game a club like this. Now again, if we walk forward to the ping, and this is where I worry about clubs like this and I challenge your ideas of dispersion. This is where the ping landed. I didn't feel like I hit it any harder, and I'm through the back. I got what you'll call, or I call in the videos, a knuckleball. The spin was really reduced on it and it just shot through. Didn't particularly go any higher in visuals to my one when I dropped that swing speed through, but my distance control was challenged. So yet again, the dispersion left and right on these two clubs is less than a yard, but short and long is dramatically different. When people are talking of dispersion, the right people, they're not always talking left and right, but you read it that way. Lots of people know you read it that way, so they use it in their marketing terminology. Be careful. Hope this one helps. Look, I'm going to do more videos on D-plane because it's a complicated subject, and if you're someone watching this thinking, oh, I don't get any of this, it's too complicated, I'm going to try and do more. Don't get frustrated. Maybe watch it again and see if that makes sense if you watch it a few more times. The be all and end all is you control face the path. 9 times out of 10, the biggest percentage, that's going to control left and right. Short and long dispersion, yes, maybe can be helped with these kind of clubs, but left and right is going to be all you. Anyone out there testing dispersion left and right, they're baffling me. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Periscope, all the normal social places. Also, come and visit my new website, markcrossfieldgolf.com. See you over there.